Hello and welcome to Millionaires Are Made. It's a show where we believe you can grow and be a millionaire in all 6 aspects of health. We do shows on your physical health, mental health, social health, spiritual health, financial health, and today's episode on your intellectual health. One of the most important and maybe underrated recently. We're focusing on focus. Yes, we are focusing on focus. Our intellectual health topic, focus, is going to be going on today. We got 3 awesome guests coming in. They're going to have a little bit of advice on how to help your focus, which is probably one of the most important things, at least in the U.S., with our 0.0001 attention spans. Hopefully we can grow that a little bit with you today. If you've never seen Millionaires Are Made, this is the show built on the fundamental belief that every person you meet knows something you don't, and there's something to learn from everyone in this big, beautiful world. In the spirit of authenticity, we don't talk about tips or advice before the show starts. We keep it as real as possible. We have a minimal bias and persuasion. All these guests, we don't know what is about to be said. It's going to come from their personal journeys and their lives and their knowledge on intellectual health and focus. It's going to be awesome. I can't wait. Audience, if you're watching this, please, we love when you comment and ask questions, and we do ask them live on air. So if you want to put one of our guests in the hot seat, feel free to comment on any of our channels, and we will take those and ask them to them live. Oh, if you want to be a guest, do it. Everyone here in this world has some piece of advice that they love, some topic that they know. Feel free to sign up. Our link's being dropped right now to be a guest. We'd love to have you on the show. Come share your tiny piece of advice. And if you are struggling through something or confused or unhappy, whether it's buying a new house with creative financing or getting a certification for artificial intelligence, something tough, let us know. Give us a topic idea. We will go out of our way and go find 3 guests to go talk about that topic and hopefully give you a little bit of help on your journey in life. If you like what we do, all the free advice and help we give, and try to help you all grow, make sure you like, share, comment, send stars, subscribe, whatever you're doing on whatever medium you're watching us. We very much would love that. And if you want even more in depth, I do offer a free coaching offer. If you want to go to growwithaustin.com, that link's being dropped right now. I do one-on-one growth sessions for free just to help everyone grow. I spend my whole life pretty much talking to smart people like you're going to see today, and then I just regurgitate what they tell me. But if you want to talk to me, I know if you want to talk to any of our guests, they would love to talk to you as well. I can't guarantee a free coaching offer, but they'll definitely respond to your DMs. Ooh, huge shout out. We got some awesome sponsors to talk about today. This episode is sponsored by True Leaders Bi-Monthly Magazine. It's free online, and you can also get a print copy on Amazon. It offers practical guidance, inspiring stories, and in-depth interviews focused on aspiring and current leaders. If you're having trouble leading or you're trying to lead better, check out the True Leaders magazine and learn a little bit from it as well. We also are sponsored by the Relationship Chef. Krista Melanson is awesome. She helps couples connect through the love language of food, which is everyone's love language, right? I know it's mine. Cordon Bleu chef, trained chef, and relationship coach at the same time. Make love go round. Ooh, another sponsor we've got is Steve Selingut. Income pays the bills. This guy will teach you how to invest, and instead of using your investment to live all the dividends and the interest and the growth, you can live off of that. So it'll pay your own income. He's awesome. Income independent coach and author of Retirement Money Secrets. Super smart guy. Check him out. And last but not least, we have Silver Fox Fitness. Bob has dedicated 30 years to teaching fitness at a local YMCA, and now he's a blogger sharing all of his knowledge on staying fit and mobile for a long, happy life. He's amazing. He does focus on seniors, but anyone can benefit from Bob. I also want to shout out some of our followers. Thank you so much for helping us grow. On Facebook, Arthur Maddox, you're awesome. Thank you. Instagram, Anna Higgins, you're amazing. On TikTok, Abdullah Ghaffar. And on YouTube, Stephen Grant. Thank you all so much. We love everything you do and helps us keep going as well. And without further ado, we're going to bring out our first guest. That's all I've got to say. I'm done and gone, but we've got Dr. Nick coming in. Hey, Dr. Nick, who are you?
Hello, Austin. Who am I? I am a men's anger coach. I specialize in helping men conquer anger. In addition to that, I'm a father and a husband and a university professor, and I hail from Salem, Oregon.
Wow. Okay. All right. Well, I've got a little question for you, Dr. Nick. If I wanted to improve my intellectual health with focus, what tiny piece of advice would you give me?
Pick up a gratitude journaling habit.
Gratitude journaling habit? Tell me more.
Absolutely. So, where your attention goes, energy flows. And anybody that is struggling with anything or just naturally wants to level up, you need to be focused on the things that you can appreciate in your life. You need to count your blessings and start focusing on the positive things that are currently active in your life. So that's what a gratitude journal is all about.
Cool. And where do I get one of those?
Well, it's pretty simple, right? And that was one of the requirements here for sharing this tip is all you need is a piece of paper. I encourage people to do it pen and pencil or pen and paper and actually write it down, because that will then activate different parts of your mind and your body and your psyche. But if you want to do it electronically, you can do that as well. But really, all you got to do is just get a notebook, right? Just go to the Dollar Tree and get a notebook. And here's what it looks like. Start your day expressing 3 aspects of gratitude. Finish your day expressing 3 aspects of gratitude. And do that for 90 days.
Interesting. All right. So in the morning and at night.
Correct.
3 things for gratitude in that. And how does that translate into your focus?
Yeah, absolutely. So there's actually some clinical research on this as well, around gratitude being just as effective as an antidepressant. So for people who are struggling with depression and or anti-anxiety, for people, or medications for anti-anxiety. So it's this idea that it can help focus and clear the mind, right? And it helps you establish being centered on the things that actually matter in your life, right? So it's a way of removing the clutter, moving the distractions, and being focused on blessings, right? And again, where attention goes, energy flows, right? So it's that law of reciprocity being activated here as well.
Wow. Okay. Well, tell us where on your life journey you learned that.
Yeah. So gratitude, you'll see it kind of splashed across all kinds of things in my world, in mental health and personal development and helping men conquer anger. And so I have had to learn it as a technique or intervention early on in my career. And then actually through the times when I've struggled, I've said, hey, maybe I ought to try this stuff that I'm actually, practice what you preach, right? And so picking up a gratitude journaling habit has been something that I've done for years. It comes and goes in spurts and waves, right? It's one of those things where you put down and then you start to struggle, and then you wonder why you put it down and you pick it back up again, for sure. And then researching alternatives to medications for mental health issues. Gratitude, is at the top of the list in terms of actual clinical research that's been shown effective for gratitude journaling. So I'm a big believer, big fan, and I try to talk about it as much as I can.
All right, I'm going to ask you a question. So I'm on the pro gratitude side. It's on my daily thing. Like when I first wake up in the morning, still laying in bed, gratitude is there, right? And visualization of what my day is going to look like. But almost every coach and guru now, Tony Robbins, Grant Cardone, all of them are like, gratitude, practice gratitude, all that. And now there's starting to be, I feel like, a niche of coaches that are anti-gratitude. They're like, your life's not going to just get better by practicing gratitude. You should actually go out and do stuff and have action plans. Yeah. And there's almost like an anti-gratitude movement. Yeah. Have you seen this, recognized it, and what are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a marketing technique too, to right to buy in, be divisive so that you attract somebody's attention, right? And so I see that quite a bit. But there's some truth to all of that. Is you can't just sit back and just be grateful. You actually do have to then act upon that gratitude, right? If you are being focused on the way that your life is being blessed, remember, it's that law of reciprocity that I talked about, then you need to be out there and be a blessing to other people in their lives, right? And it can happen in small little ways. It's another mistake when people set out with gratitude journaling. It doesn't have to be big things. It's literally showing and expressing gratitude for the little things in your life. that maybe you think you don't notice them, right? It could be something as simple as um, your traffic in the commute that you had today was a little bit less stressful than it usually is. Expressing gratitude for that, right? It's waking up and realizing that you have power and electricity in your home, right? Where a lot of people in the world don't. It's expressing gratitude for those things, right? So it's a way of clearing the mind, again, removing the distractions so that you can actually be focused on the things that are going to matter in your life.
That's awesome. I'm going to bring this up later, but it reminds me of I'm reading the Book of Joy by the Dalai Lama and Desmond Tutu, and there's a lot about thinking about others versus you. So I'll bring that up later, though, in our round robin. Dr. Nick, we are going to move on to our next guest and wrap it up. Thank you for your insight. Very, very good. We now have Patrick joining us today. Patrick, can you tell us who are you?
Who am I? That's a hard act to follow. Thank you, Dr. Nick. My name is Patrick Callahan. I am a certified life mastery consultant. I'm certified mental performance coach and a personal trainer as well, and a lover of life. That's who I am.
And a lover of life. That's very important to put in there. Very important to put in there. All right, Patrick, if I wanted to improve my intellectual health with focus, what piece of advice would you give me?
I would say meditate and breathe for 5 minutes a day. Right? And if you do that before you're journaling, like Dr. Nick says, I do gratitude journaling and it's amazing, just like he says, but I meditate for about that 5 to 15 minutes before I do that to get myself in that right mindset, to breathe, clear out all the thoughts that are going around in your head, then you can really focus on your gratitudes.
Wow, we're getting an interesting. I did not see this show going this way. All right. All right. So meditate, which is almost like visualization for me, and then do
Absolutely.
gratitude. We're just going over my morning routine. God damn. All right.
Well,
all right.
You want
Why am I not focused?
Yeah, you want to increase focus? Have a routine. Have that
Okay,
morning
good.
routine, that morning routine, that evening routine. You know, you have that routine and your focus increases. Right? Another tip I would say is also put down your phone for a while. You know, be present in the moment. Remove those distractions. Bring them to another room. Shut off your notifications.
So something I do is, especially when I'm in the office, but at home too, I set the timer for 15 minutes and just keep doing that throughout the whole workday. And on those 15 minutes is when I do like a little workout, like 10, 15 push-ups or sit-ups or something like that, just small to keep me moving throughout the day. But then we'll do a 15-minute period for the whole office where we don't touch our phones. So we'll be like, all right, like usually it's about once an hour. We'll be like, this 15 minutes, no phones. Everyone puts their phone like on the table. We work for 15 minutes, no phones, and then we can go do it. Yeah, so that's another little tip.
And
All right, Patrick,
don't you find your production goes up too. Like your focus on your work, your production goes up. Put that phone away. Stay healthy. I do stretching. You guys do a little bit of movement. I do stretching.
Stretching, yeah. Early on, sometimes, especially as I get older and older, or if I have a workout the night before, got to stretch more. All right, Patrick, where on your life journey did you learn this tip?
Man, just through my whole life journey, to be honest with you, like 5 years ago, I had something major happen to me, and I just dove into personal development, and that's exactly where I started to learn about the gratitude journals, increasing your focus, increasing your mental health, your intellectual health. Did a lot of reading, took a lot of courses, and just put everything together that I learned. And just like Dr. Nick says, I mean, it's amazing what gratitude can do and what meditation and focus. So just last 5 years of my life.
Just crashing. So you might have watched a show like Millionaires Are Made, but then you went into the rabbit hole, you dedicated, you learned, and now you became an expert.
I went into the rabbit hole for about 9 months.
9 months.
Shut everything down, shut my life off, focused on my physical health, mental health, spiritual health, and just dove right into personal development.
Nice. Too bad this show wasn't around back then. Thank you so much, Patrick. We're going to move on to our next guest, and we'll bring it back out in the round robin.
All right.
Please give a big, warm welcome to Thalin. Thalin, who are you?
Hey, thank you for showing up in the world. Hey, before starting getting into me, man, I want to give you, Austin, your flowers, and thank you for providing this opportunity for me to add value, not only for me, but to your audience as well, and providing a space where, we all can grow and learn in six different stages of health. So I genuinely appreciate you, and I'm grateful for you sharing this space with us because this aligns with my purpose and who I am. All right. So going into answer your question, who am I, right? So I'm Thalin Johnson. I'm a husband of my pulchritudinous empress, Santana, son of Linda and Thomas. That's kind of where I got my name from. It's the first three letters of my parents' name, Thomas and Linda. And a big brother, right? A big brother to Jamal, my brother. So I'm also a young philanthropist born in St. Lucia, raised in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, who travel the world helping people in need. All right, but my biggest passion and what I'm going to talk about today is how I am as a eudaimonia strategist, guiding men to gain freedom from the biggest challenge of life. My clients say that what they think is impossible, together we make possible.
Very cool. All right. Did you say you're from St. Vincent and the Grenadines?
Yes, sir. I was raised there.
Okay, where you at now?
My dad is Vinci. I'm currently in the States.
How did they fare with the hurricane?
So people are recovering and stuff like that. I went back for the volcanic eruption. That's kind of how we started our philanthropy work. I went back for that one back in 2022. Yeah.
I can't believe you're not there right now celebrating Carnival.
Nah. I got other things to do. I'm with my purpose in life right now. So I don't need to go and do the party in the carnival stage anymore. But grew up
awesome.
in that.
All right, Thalin. If I wanted to improve my intellectual health with focus, what tiny piece of advice would you give me?
Tiniest, there is no greater focus than focusing on your purpose in life.
Yes. Okay. Tell me more.
All right. So that really hits me from learning the quote, right? If a man knows not to which port he sails, no wind is favorable. Right. So that's why I feel like the no greater focus in life than the focus on your purpose in life. And the biggest distractions we get in life is challenges, right? So when we're faced with challenges, it knocks us off our course. So how do we stay focused on life despite the challenges is the biggest thing. So once you focus on your purpose in life and you find your way to your purpose, everything else increases intellectually, right? So all your health increases. You increase your physical health, your mental health, your financial health, because you're just becoming better as a person focusing on your purpose in life. And the way that I help my clients and is through the KBL way, right? I call it Know Be Love way. So the KBL 3-way, which is who are you? Asking yourself, who are you? Who are you wanting to become? And what are you going to do to become that person? Right? So the so the who are you phase kind of helps you cultivate skills to know yourself, which you can do stuff like journaling, right? Who are you wanting to become? Cultivate skills on being yourself through things like meditation. And what are you going to do will cultivate skills to love yourself through the actions that you do, which is kind of like what I do, volunteering. So it's kind of like you had I guess Jim Ryan, right, the rock musician, right? His favorite song was "Find Yourself a Way," and I always tell everybody the KBL way.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Thalin, you want to tell us a little more about where you on your life journey you learned this information?
Yeah. So once upon a time, man, back in 2017, I was in the military, and life was going great for me, man. I was on smooth sailing.
Thank you for your service.
Yep, no problem. Thank you for your support. I was married. I had a lot of friends. Career was on track. Everything was going great. And year later, swoosh, big wave came and knocked my life off course. So I had to get out the Army. I was going through a nasty divorce. I found out I had multiple disabilities, and I was put on like 17 different meds. I was very lost, and I lost my focus in life and drowned into my biggest challenge in life, right? So I started hanging out with the wrong people, abusing drugs, alcohol, not being myself of who I knew I wanted to be. And I just felt alone, anchored down in a foreign country with no family, no friends, and just feeling helpless. So one day I realized, man, I had to repurpose my life, man. this ain't me, you know, this is not who I wanted to be. I was laying on the couch with an empty Wild Turkey honey bottle. That was my drink of choice at that time.
And this was
I really,
in the U.S., correct?
no, this was in Germany. You know,
In Germany.
that's why
Okay.
I say I was in a foreign country. Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm usually a social drinker, but that's how I knew it was now a problem, to where I was now drinking. I was alone and down that bottle, you know, alone. So I knew I had to find my way to repurpose my life. And that's how I wanted to look at life, right? Whereas I don't want to do how anybody else has done it. I want to do it my way, right? I want to find my way through life. Right. So I started asking myself that question, like, who are you, man? And then when I wrote that down, like tears on the paper and everything, and I was just seeing that, is this who I really want to be? And I was like, no. So I asked myself, so who do you want to become? And then I started finding my way through learning through psychology and everything, that actions, you know, leads to behaviors and behaviors lead to character. And that's when I later found out the ending point of being focused on my actions. Right. So once I put all these three together, I'm the man you see today who have grown even more. You know, I'm going to even grow even more tomorrow. I'm intentional and purposeful with everything I do in life, and everything is aligned to my purpose, which is to simply spread love, happiness, and peace by making people smile more, from being hopeless to hope more.
From being hopeless to hopeful. I love it.
Hope more. Hope more.
Hope more. All right.
Yeah.
Awesome. Fallon, this is great. But we went too long with you. I love it, though. We're going to bring everyone out, and then we're going to crush this. All right, let's bring Patrick and Dr. Nick. All right, guys. Woo, this is getting good. All right, Dr. Nick, can you real quickly refresh what your tip was?
Absolutely. It's starting up a gratitude journal habit.
And Patrick, you kind of talked about it, but go ahead and give us a few seconds to let us know what you think about that.
Oh, I totally agree with the gratitude journal. It just changes your vibration, raises your frequency, and puts you on a different level. And that's why I meditate before I do my gratitude journal, and it's changed my life.
And Fallon, what are your thoughts on gratitude journals?
Oh, definitely. I love gratitude, being grateful. Even throwing the spin in, like, people more are grateful for the things they have, but I'm also grateful for the things I don't have yet.
Oh, absolutely.
So that helps me to also stay focused on achieving, you know, those things in life as well.
All right, we've got a question from the audience coming up. I'll leave it. Whoever wants to answer first, just step in. How often should I take breaks to maintain focus?
What I do, I can jump in for a second. What I do is when I have, like, I'm pretty in depth with my schedule, and I always leave a buffer of about 30 minutes in between every activity that I do, and that's the time when I just take a break, drink some water, do some mobility work, you know, even just sit in silence for 5 minutes, and it just refocuses my day between meetings and between clients.
Yeah, I love that. For me, I'll say take a break when you feel like you are lacking the focus. So definitely defocusing yourself and doing something completely opposite, right? When you're losing your creativity, when you're losing your focus, do something completely opposite. Take that break and do something completely opposite. And what I've seen when I come back to doing whatever task I was focused on, I'm more refreshed. I have new insights. You know, my creativity has grown and everything like that.
Yeah, and what I would add to it is take as many breaks as you need, and that's a general answer. But specifically, you know, you would need to know, why is it that you're losing focus, right? Eliminate distractions, and so that way you'll maintain more focus over extended periods of time, right? So you can take a break. That's great. We all need to do it for sure. But then also looking at how do you, remove the things that are stealing your focus.
Yeah, awesome. All right, we've got another message from the audience. According to research, there is a distraction every 11 minutes. Hard to focus these days. What are you guys' thoughts on that?
Yeah. again, I would just jump in. I'll jump in and say that your own data is going to be the most important aspect of this, right? And so you got that research says every 11 minutes. That's on average bell curve. I think people need to figure that out, what it is for them on an individual basis, right? So take your own data, do some tracking to see how often you're distracted. Then again, look at what is distracting you and then eliminate those things from your life. So one thing that I did is I basically I used to be a news junkie. I used to plug into the news all the time, and it was just a huge distraction. That's my primary use for X these days, right? If I'm feeling that need to get plugged into news, I'll just go on X, look at current trends, be on there for 5 minutes, and then get out, right? Otherwise, my cell phone lives in do not disturb mode, right?
Yeah.
I don't get any notifications. So if I want to know what's going on, I actually have to turn the app on and go into it and see what's going on. So that's how
That's a
I've
good
done it.
tip right there.
Yep.
I've been on Do Not Disturb for probably almost 10 years. My phone hasn't rung. And
No
whenever I lose it,
notification.
people are like, "Can I call it?" I'm like, "Bro, I haven't had a ringtone in like a decade."
Yep, me too.
Yeah, Do Not Disturb is a great tip. Yeah,
that is a great tip. Actually, I think I'm going to start doing the Do Not Disturb, because what I do is I just take my phone and put it in a different room, just totally eliminate the.
Let's talk about this one. Reels destroy me. The new take your attention for 10 seconds thing that everyone does. What are you guys' thoughts on Reels? I used to be so good at avoiding them, but I feel like I definitely spend way too much time on them right now.
That's one that I would go back to also, focusing on your purpose. So there are some great reels out there, right? So if you know your purpose in life and where you're going and who you're working on and the actions you need to take, then you can watch reels that are in line with who you are wanting to become, and you're learning skills as you become that person through reels. So it doesn't have to destroy you, but find a way to where it can build you up and cultivate great skills to learn within yourself. So learning something new through reels.
I would say if reels are destroying you, I'm going to assume that you spend more time than what you want, in the doom scroll, right? And so if that's the case, just set a timer, right?
Oh, okay.
If you feel like you need to be, looking at reels or whatever, just set a timer that for 5 minutes, for 8 minutes, whatever, guilt-free. I'm going to reel myself as much as I can. Then when the timer goes off, move on to something else.
Very smart. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, so I kind of like the focusing that you talk about, Colin. And so like one of the first things I do with any new growth coaching client is we go over your CVMV, core values, mission, and vision. And so, we just had an episode probably a month ago on social media. And for me, my social media, it used to be, oh, my boyfriend left me, oh, my baby daddy's mad at me, and all that stuff. And when the last couple years, I've really focused on, when something comes up that doesn't fit the CVMV, hitting that unfollow button or muting for 30 days and shit like that. So now when I go on my Facebook feed, it's all people I admire, respect, close friends that are all growing and fitting my mission, like you said, and growing. Okay, we got one last question, then we got to do a core value. Sorry. Let's do it. How can I set up my space to improve focus? That's a good one.
I definitely wouldn't be one that model what my space looks like after me, right? So I'm not a big feng shui person yet, but again, I think it would be using cues in your environment that remind yourself of who you are and what your purpose is, what your mission is. So that way, if you just find yourself distracted looking around, like I have a picture of my son right here, and so that's one of my core values is family. Right. So if I'm distracted looking around, I'm going to be reminded of things that are true about me, my purpose, and what my mission is.
Awesome. Very cool.
Yeah. Signs of success. I have all over my my office, just different signs of success, some affirmations that I like to tell myself every once in a while. Yeah. That's how I set up my workspace.
Yeah. For me, I used to have my office in my room. And something I had to learn was being able to condition yourself to where right? We know our red room is to sleep and stuff like that. So I was losing a lot of focus being in my room because that's where I knew I had to go sleep. So I was very lazy and stuff like that. So doing something simple like putting a sign like work area right above my laptop. That way I knew when I'm here sitting at my laptop, it's all about working. So that also helps. Knowing what you do around your workspace will help you focus as well. So when I'm sitting at my desk, right, I do not scroll through social media. I do not play games. I do not do any of that. I only work at my laptop, right? If I want to do anything else, I'll get up and move and go somewhere else. So it's like being focused and intentional. You're building these skills and you condition your mind and your body for wherever you're at is strictly for what you want to do. And something I see too with my client I'm helping right now is even cleaning up your workspace, has helped him tremendously, just focused in on, everything that he wanted to do within his workspace. He no longer had distractions and stuff like that.
All right, guys, we are at the point where we need to come up with our daily challenge. Daily challenge is an activity, something that takes less than 5 minutes a day, costs $0, and anyone in the world can do it, from Madagascar to Iceland. What suggestions do you guys have?
I agree with Dr. Nick, and just I would say meditate for a couple minutes and then gratitude for 3 minutes.
What if? Okay, I think I might already have it. We're gonna add in some Athal and stuff. So what if you put in your mind one of your core values, and then you meditate, so it's kind of on there, and then we journal. I mean, that would be pretty simple, right? That'd be actually good focus. Shit, that sounds like what I want to do. So each day, so for 7 days, you can repeat your core value, but think of one core value, or maybe your vision or your mission. Maybe you think on that for like 30 seconds, then meditate for like a minute and a half, and then, we go and do the 3 things we have gratitude for that day. How does that sound?
That's a good one. I'd add in there maybe some, like, ask yourself, who am I today? Who am I being today?
Who am I? All right.
Who am I being today? And then meditate. And I think who am I being today I think that helps. That goes down the Thalen's path as well. If you're thinking, right, who am I going to be today? Meditate and then celebrate some gratitudes and some wins.
Yeah, and I think also, a big part is taking the action. That's going to keep you. That's going to keep you online and focus on who you are going to be.
Yeah.
So taking that action and loving the process of stepping into your purpose and becoming that person. And then you can journal and reflect on how that felt for you, how everything went, what are you grateful for, things like that.
I tweaked that journal prompt just a little bit based on what everybody said. So the journal prompt could be, who am I and what can I be grateful for?
Okay.
And then what action will I take today?
Yeah.
Mm.
All right.
And get yourself one of these.
Right.
5 minutes.
What is
I have one here too.
Yeah, exactly. 5 minutes. 5 minute timer, right?
Yes,
nice.
All right, let me redo this. Set timer for 5 minutes, and then meditate for roughly 2.
I would say 2 minutes.
Actually, we're just gonna set timer for 2 minutes. Two is meditate, and then 3 is journal entry. Who am I today? What 3 things am I grateful for? And what was the last thing, Dr. Nick?
What action will I take?
What action will I take? All right.
And if you ask yourself those questions right before you meditate, just ask yourself those questions before you sit in silence. It'll come to you. Then journal it. Go.
Awesome. Well, I think that's a solid daily challenge. All right. Well, we'll be tagging all of you guys, and hopefully anyone watching will join in as well, and we'll have a nice little challenge for the next week. 2 minutes of meditating, journal entry, who am I today, 3 things you're grateful for, and what action will you take today. I love it. That's great. Fantastic. And then hopefully we build it into our systems. I think I'm going to have to rethink. Yeah, we'll see. All right, cool. Awesome, guys. All right, well, I'm going to wrap up the show. Thank you guys so much for coming out. What a great episode. Lots of insightfulness. And thank you, viewers, all for watching. It was awesome having you guys. Hope everything went well. Don't forget, shout out to our Silver Fox Fitness. Great sponsor there. Go check them out. Their links drop below. And if you want to grow in a free coaching session, links drop below. Otherwise, thank you so much. I hope you learned a lot about intellectual